friends, this is Hedda. In today's video, I am sharing my bullet journal setup for February with you. I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of Valentine's themed bullet journal setups, so if you're interested in a non-Valentine's themed setup, this is the video for you. Before I get into the planning, here's a quick flip through of my January spreads. I really enjoyed the kind of monochromatic look, and I am proud to say that I didn't use any black the entire month. If you would like to watch the full video where I set up for January, you can click on the card and go directly to that video. This video is kindly sponsored by RUSTICO. RUSTICO makes gorgeous leather goods and notebooks such as the traveler's notebook I am using at the moment. RUSTICO makes their products in Utah, US, and their products are made to order. Go to rustico.com to check out their website or click on the link in the description box below. Let's dive into my February spreads. Like I said, I didn't use any black for January, so because I'm a little bit dramatic, February will be all black. The setup itself is definitely minimalistic. However, because of my drawings, it doesn't really look like a minimal setup. In other words, a perfectly minimal setup in disguise. I am a huge fan of Studio Ghibli movies. If you don't know who they are, Studio Ghibli is an animation studio in Japan, and they have made movies such as Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro. Since Netflix has bought the rights to stream Ghibli movies all over the world starting from February 1st, I thought a Studio Ghibli theme would be perfect for this month. The tree on my cover page is inspired by Princess Mononoke, which is my all-time favorite Ghibli movie. The forest in the movie is green and lush, but since it's February and the middle of winter here in Norway, I decided to make the trees without leaves. It fits my current surroundings better. The weird little creatures are forest spirits. Apparently, Ghibli movies will not be available for Netflix users in the US, Canada, and Japan, but HBO will start streaming them in those countries later in the spring, so don't worry, they should also be on Amazon Prime, which we don't have in Norway, so, we can't all have everything. Oh, I should probably mention that I'm using a Pentel sign pen to draw everything in these spreads, because I think it creates more movement in the drawing than a fine liner would be able to create, if that makes sense. Since I'm not using colors, it's important to make the line art interesting enough. This next spread is my monthly calendar, goals, and to-do list spread, 3-in-1. On the left side, I have a small calendar, and underneath it, I will write down important dates throughout the month. They won't be in order, but I think I'll be okay with that. On the right side, I decided to draw Totoro because he's so cute. I was a bit concerned about all the black I'm using in these spreads. As you can see, there is quite a bit of ghosting, but honestly, I'm okay with it. As long as there is no bleeding, I will survive. Above Totoro, I made space for monthly goals and also a short to-do list. I made sure I would not have very much space to write here so that I will have to focus on a few things that I find most important. I used a black Crayola Super Tip to color in Totoro because I thought maybe it would ghost less than the Pentel sign pen, but I kind of regretted it afterwards because the black isn't completely black. However, there is no way the paper can handle me going over twice with black color, so it will just have to stay this way. Moving on to the next spread, I started out by drawing Haku from Spirited Away. Spirited Away is probably one of the most famous Ghibli movies outside of Japan, and although not my favorite movie from Studio Ghibli, I do appreciate the amazing world they created within this movie. Also, I love dragons. That's probably why I like Tales from Earthsea so much too. What I like about Ghibli movies is that the character design is very simple yet very expressive. I thought it would be difficult to draw Haku, but he doesn't actually have that many details. I just made a snake-like shape and then I looked up how his head and tail looked and then kind of put it together that way. So this spread is actually my habit tracker for the month. It's very simple, as you can see, so if there were no decorations, it would take literally 5 minutes to set up. I'm tracking the same habits as last month: skincare, sleeping 8 hours a night, reading every day, and writing every day. The clock is ticking for my master's thesis and I am slowly dying inside. I used the same gray mild liner as before to color in parts of Haku's body, and then I used the Pentel Pentel sign pen to color his fur. I thought it would give the drawing a little bit more depth. If I had to make a list of my favorite 5 Ghibli movies, it would be Princess Mononoke, When Marnie Was There, The Tale of Princess Kaguya, Tales from Earthsea, and My Neighbors the Yamadas. That last one is so silly and ridiculous compared to the other ones, which are more serious and kind of sad. The next spread is a February special. I printed out 20 movie posters of Ghibli movies I would like to watch once they are released for streaming on Netflix. I accidentally printed 2 posters for Howl's Moving Castle and forgot to print a poster for Porco Rosso, but I'll fix that later. I'm out of double-sided tape, so I used a glue stick to randomly place the pictures on the left side. This is the only spread for February that has color in it, and I did consider printing the posters in grayscale, but since they're so small, I thought I wouldn't be able to see which is which very well, so I went with color. On the right-hand side, I wrote down each movie, and I filled the circles with gray if I've watched the movie before, and then I'll tick the circle boxes when I watch the movies on Netflix. Now, I realize that not all the movies will be available on February 1st. Some are coming out March 1st and some April 1st. This is probably a good thing because I will not be able to watch 20 movies in 1 month. So I'll just come back to the spread in March and April and fill it in. That's all the spreads I'm creating for this month. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and make sure to leave a comment with your favorite Studio Ghibli movie. Now I'll leave you to the final flip through. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!